Greetings! Before I introduce today's topic, I want you to think back on the lessons in the Dada art style. Recall how the artists who worked in that style were angry with the middle class and the occurrence of World War I, and how they channeled that anger into their artwork, creating essentially ridiculous ready-mades out of household items and collage, and called it art just to stick it to the man, simply because they could. The Surrealist artists and writers were similar. They were also young, mostly in their 20s, recently affected by the ravages of war, and looking to revolt against anything institutional or traditional in nature. Surrealism emerged pretty much right after the Dada movement died down. It started in literature, not art actually. Literary greats of the age like Andre Breton and Paul Eluard were fascinated by the teachings of Sigmund Freud and the rise in popularity of psychological science. They were entranced with the subconscious and dreams, rejecting reality, hence the term surreal or unreal. When artists began to work in the Surrealist style, they focused on randomness, the element of chance, and juxtaposition, the combination of dissimilar objects. This is the kind of artwork that makes you scratch your head and say, huh? What were they thinking? The first name that comes to mind when most people think about Surrealism is Dali, Salvador Dali. However, the first group exhibition by Surrealist artists was in 1925, and Dali didn't even visit Paris until 1928, though quickly became one of the most well-known painters working in the style. Among the group were names you may or may not recognize: Man Ray, Moreau, Klee, Arp, and Ernst. Surrealist works were almost always abstractions, containing distorted but recognizable objects like an elephant with impossibly long legs or melting clocks. Many images seem as though they are straight out of the dream world, like a sunset hatching from a cracked egg, the sun playing a part as the egg's yolk. There were many sculptors working in the Surrealist style as well. One of my favorites is a piece by Merritt Oppenheim, who covered a cup, saucer, and spoon with fur. Very strange, yet visually stimulating. Also, take a look at this lobster telephone by Dali. These are both perfect depictions of juxtapositions, combining unrelated objects like fur and a teacup, or a lobster and a telephone. Surrealists definitely like to mess with your head. They were very imaginative and sought to create works that made the viewer pause and think. Take this work by René Magritte, for example. The text at the bottom says, "Ceci n'est pas une pipe," or in English, "This is not a pipe." Well, of course it's a pipe, you might be thinking. But then, is it really? No, it's a painting of a pipe. Yeah, gets you thinking, right? The Surrealists were enthralled by the psyche, or the inner workings of thought, both conscious and especially subconscious. They were particularly interested in dreams because, like our subconscious thoughts, dreams are something that, at the point, and even now, cannot be fully explained by science, but instead merely guessed at through psychology. Many artists practice automatism in their drawings, letting their hand move across the page without direct conscious control or objectives. This resulted in free-form line work and what you can call happy accidents, though Surrealist art was rarely happy. Many times artwork took on a darker, unsettling feel, more like nightmares than pleasant dreams. Surrealism maintained its popularity up until World War II. It's responsible for influencing many post-war art movements such as abstract expressionism, nouveau realism, and performance art. We will be exploring abstract expressionism in detail soon.